In this video, I'm going to show you why this is the single greatest camera any new YouTuber can have this year at this price. You just can't beat it. If you're going to start a YouTube channel, this is absolutely hands down the camera of the year. For about 600 bucks, this little thing has features that just a few years ago would have cost twice as much. This is the Canon R50 V, and we're talking C-Log 3, 10-bit video, false color, cinema menus, interchangeable lenses, and enough video features to make you look way more talented than you actually are. Now, before you pull out your credit card like it's Black Friday at Best Buy, there are a couple of things you need to know. Because even though this is the best value on the planet, the camera isn't perfect. There are a few compromises Canon had to make in order to hit that price point. And depending on the way you shoot, those compromises might not matter. Or they might just drive you bananas. So today we're going to break it all down. What I love, what I don't, who should have this camera, and who absolutely should not. By the end of this video, you're going to know whether the Canon R50 V deserves a spot in your camera bag. So let's jump in. I keep hearing people say, it's just an R50 without the viewfinder. Nope, not even close. Canon built this thing for people who shoot video first. You got a huge red record button right on the front. A tally light, you instantly know that you're recording. A dedicated vertical mounting point for shooting shorts, TikToks, and Reels. The whole layout just feels like somebody at Canon actually talked to video creators before designing it. Instead of taking a photo camera and just cramming a bunch of video features inside, they started with video. And honestly, you can tell. Okay, let's talk about the good stuff. You get 4K up to 60 frames per second. You get 10-bit 422 recording, Canon Log 3, Cinema Gamut, XF AVC, XF HEVC, false color, zebras. Listen, if half those words sounded like I was speaking French, don't worry. Here's what all that really means. This camera gives you room to grow. Maybe today you're just shooting YouTube videos, but 6 months from now, you decide you want to learn to color grade, or you want to match footage with another camera. Perhaps you want to shoot client work and actually make some money. The R50 V is ready for all of that. You're not going to outgrow it nearly as fast as most cameras in this price. Actually, are there any cameras in this price range? I don't think so. But there is one catch. The 4K 60 does have a 1.5 times crop. Now, you might see that as a bummer. However, I do not. Look, all my talking head videos are shot at 24p anyway. I only switch to 60p when I'm grabbing cinematic B-roll downstairs at the beach. And that crop turns all of my lenses into 2 different lenses. So in real world use for me, that crop is kind of a plus. Interchangeable lenses. This is where this camera becomes dangerous because now you get to pick the right tool for the job. If you need a huge wide-angle shot, you throw on the RF 10-18. If you're traveling, you grab the 18-150. If you want blurry backgrounds to your heart's content, you grab the nifty 50 f1.8. That lens is still one of the biggest bargains Canon has ever given us. Now, me personally, I love pairing this camera with the Sigma 16mm f1.4. That lens practically lives on my camera. Matter of fact, Sigma just contacted me and asked me if they could send me the new 15mm to do a review, so watch for that video in just a couple of weeks. Look, those Sigma lenses are ridiculously sharp. They let in a ton of light, and they make this little camera feel like it costs twice as much. And here's something Canon deserves a little credit for. They finally opened up the door to third-party APS-C lenses. Sigma, Tamron, and more have already joined the party. And that's fantastic news for all of us because it means more choices, it means better lenses, and usually it means lower prices. And in this economy, my wallet appreciates that. Translation, it's excellent. Faces, eyes, people, animals, cars. It just locks on and it stays there. Now, one feature I really like is the register people priority. Basically, you're teaching the camera who to focus on when there are multiple people in the shot. That's a fantastic feature if you shoot weddings or events or interviews, or even if you're just trying to vlog somewhere where it's crowded. Fantastic feature. Is it full frame? No. Does it have to be? Also, no. Look, I was perfectly comfortable shooting up to ISO 6400. If you keep your exposure under control, if you use a fast lens, you're going to get footage that looks surprisingly clean. Now, if you're expecting this little guy to compete with a camera costing $4,000, well, some expectations are just unrealistic. Okay, here's one of those compromises that I mentioned earlier. There is no IBIS, but hear me out here. There's actually an upside. Without IBIS, you don't get that weird sensor wobble when you're mounting this thing to your car. And I mount this thing to my car a lot. To me, that's actually a big plus. Now, the downside, if you're outside holding the camera in your hand, you're definitely going to want to use an RF lens with image stabilization, or do what I do and throw it on a gimbal. Personally, that's exactly how I shoot anyway. So the IBIS thing, it doesn't really bother me. Battery life actually shocked me. I honestly expected below average battery life, but instead I was getting anywhere between 2 and 2.5 hours. That's impressive, especially from those little LP-E17 batteries. And the good news, there are several third-party batteries that work great on this camera. 3 batteries will let you shoot all day. This is another one that surprised me. I tested this camera inside, of course, no issues. But then I did what every reasonable YouTuber does. I left it recording outside in Florida. You know, in the summer. Basically, the surface of the sun. Over 95 degrees, I think it was 96 degrees when I did it, and this little guy just kept recording. Meanwhile, the other cameras people that were around me were tapping out like they just ran a marathon. For normal YouTube shooting, overheating is not going to be an issue. Canon reminds everyone why people love Canon. The footage just looks beautiful. Skin tones, gorgeous. Colors, classic Canon, right? The oversampled 4K is detailed without looking overly digital. There's just enough softness to keep everything looking natural. And C-Log 3 gives you enough flexibility in post without making color grading feel like you're trying to solve some math equation, right? I genuinely enjoy editing footage from this camera. Now, no camera is perfect, right? The biggest downside for me, no electronic viewfinder. Outdoors, bright Florida sun, it's pretty hard to judge exposure on that rear screen. I really wish Canon would have been able to find some kind of way to squeeze in an EVF, but I'm pretty sure that Canon will come out with an EVF that'll work on that hot shoe. Now, I don't know that for fact, but they did it for the M6 Mark II, so fingers crossed. This one is easy. If you shoot mostly video, it's the R50 V. If you shoot mostly photos, then the regular R50. Simple. Same sensor, fantastic autofocus, great image quality. The difference is where Canon spent the money. One is built for photographers, the other is built for creators who live in video. And honestly, I think Canon absolutely got this one right. For $620, I don't know of another interchangeable lens camera that gives you this many professional video features in such a compact package. Now, can I ask you one question to answer down below? What's the one feature that would make the R50 V absolutely perfect for you? And I'm going to share those answers with Canon, so please do it, and I appreciate it. All right? Now, if you're still not sure whether the R50 V or the original Canon R50 is the right camera for you, this playlist right here will definitely help you decide. I did a ton of research to answer that very question, so be sure to check it out, all right? And if you got any value out of this video, could you do an old guy a solid? I'm going to be dead in a few years. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. My name's Bo, and I got to go. I will see you in that next video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Peace.